My name is Gary Marley. I'm also known as Marleythirteen on YouTube, and this is my life in 5 games. The first game I ever played was James Bond GOLDENEYE on the Nintendo 64. It was actually my cousin's Nintendo 64 and I think I must have been 5 at the time, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but we had a lot of fun on it anyway. I just remember moving around a lot of corridors and that at the time and just not being very good at it. My cousin was a lot better than me at it, but it was still a bunch of fun. I think the fact that my very first ever game was a first-person shooter definitely influenced my later choices of games, considering these days like pretty much all I play is first-person shooters. So I think about a year after playing James Bond on my cousin's Nintendo 64, I finally convinced my parents to get me a PlayStation 1, which was just recently out, and I believe the very first game I ever played on that was Spider-Man. Also the very first game I ever completed the full way through. I absolutely loved that game. I've went back and played it since and I still had just a great time on it. I remember having to ask my parents to buy me one of those smaller third-party controllers for my PlayStation because my hands at the time were really small. They're still quite small, to be honest. So yeah, having the smaller controller helped me play those games because some of the older controllers were quite big and clunky and chunky. So I think when I first got my PlayStation 1, I think my parents just bought me maybe 4 or 5 games to play, and I think that did me for quite a while. They probably included the likes of FIFA 2000, maybe 2001, Spider-Man, Wipeout I believe was one of them. Just a variety, a bunch of games. I think back in those days you actually got a few like kind of demo discs with the PlayStation as well, which that's all I needed at the time to play the demos, just playing them over and over again. Back then I just get so like engrossed in the game, just in the world of it, no matter what it was, and just almost tunnel vision on the game. I think the first game I ever bought with my own money was FIFA 2003. I'd saved up like birthday money over the year and I knew like the next FIFA was coming out, and I think FIFA 2003 was one of the early games with a bigger jump in graphics at the time. I remember thinking I really wanted that. To be honest, back then I was playing as much games as I was playing outside. That like I still played outside a lot with friends, playing football and stuff, but also with the same friends who'd come into my house, I'd go into their house and play games for hours on end. And my parents at the time, I can't really remember hearing much like negativity from them. Maybe sometimes staying up a bit too late playing games, but apart from that, I think they were fine with me playing games. The game I've spent the most time playing is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on the Xbox 360. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was my third Call of Duty game, and in my opinion the best one. From the campaign to co-op to especially the multiplayer, there's just thousands of hours of fun to be had on that game. Honestly, still to this day, I still enjoy it. I think a big part of it was that all my friends were also into it. I remember as soon as we all got home from school, we'd all party up on Xbox and jump on and play until about midnight the next day, and then we get into school and we all talk about what we did on Modern Warfare 2 the night before, some good plays or some not so great plays. Back in its heyday, everyone was on game chat as well, so you'd jump into a lobby with your friends and there'd maybe be say a group of English people in the lobby, and you kind of have a bit of banter back and forth, and then you jump into the game and you do your best to beat them, and it was glorious when you beat them, and you and your friends would just see who could have the best slaggings and that. It was almost part of the game, seeing who could wind up the other team the most, and it was almost like camaraderie in a way. Helping out a friend who's having a bad game, or if you have a bad game then getting slagged for it, you know, vice versa. Game chat in its heyday was almost like the beginnings of social media now. Same type of characters you get in social media these days you had on online multiplayer games like Modern Warfare 2. I can't remember using the mute button all that much. I remember having conversations with A lot of English people, I've actually got English friends that I made on Modern Warfare 2 still to this day. And I think a lot of people do have those online friends they kept back then. And I guess for people like myself, we're a lot younger back then, very immature. It's sad to see voice chat kind of disappear. I think it's partly because Call of Duty games specifically had certain modes where it was just specifically game chat. You were not allowed to be in your private party chats with your friends. You had to be in game chat with other people. They kind of stopped doing that, like with some of the newer games, and also the consoles as well. Tried to focus more in on people being in private parties with their friends, and also I think the rise of platforms like Skype and Discord, people were just choosing not to jump in game chat. A lot of us maybe just grew up. Maybe it's just not as fun being in game chat anymore, and winding people up, maybe you grow out of it. I think there's definitely a conversation to be had about the effect that voice chat and games had on people's ability to communicate with people they don't know and will never meet again. Obviously, feel very safe in your room, you know, chatting over the mic. You're never going to see these people. You're never going to meet these people. I guess that's why a lot of people do get a bit mouthy and aggressive, because they feel invincible in a way. But for me personally, I definitely think it does bring you out of your comfort zone, even if you are in your room chatting to people that you've never met before. When the summer holidays rolled around, the year that Modern Warfare 2 was the main Call of Duty game, I do at that point remember spending more time in my room playing Modern Warfare 2 than maybe being outside, maybe more than I should have, but don't regret it for a second, would never change it. I had so much fun over that summer playing with my friends on that game, and honestly that summer might have influenced my life for the better. So honestly, I had a great time on Modern Warfare 2 back then. The game that has made me the angriest is any FIFA game on any platform. A lot of FIFA is to do with AI. It's stuff outside your control. No matter how good you are at it, there's going to be at some point where the game is just going to do something that you didn't want it to do. Honestly, I think I'm quite a calm, composed person, quite a happy wee guy. But FIFA games just bring something out in me that I don't like, and actually these days I don't play FIFA as much as I used to. And I've never been one for smashing up controllers, but I'd say FIFA games have been that's the closest I've ever come. I think the FIFA community can be quite toxic because there are elements in the game that can just really wind players up. For example, say you're 1 goal up and it's getting towards the end of the game, you can just pass the ball around the back, keep it away from your opponent. And it's not like real football where it literally lasts 90 minutes, so they've got plenty of time to get the ball back off you then. But in a FIFA game, say at that point you've maybe got 2 minutes left, and you could easily keep the ball off someone for 2 minutes, and it just gets very frustrating. And there's other elements like even just holding the ball in the corner and just holding in a button and letting the game do the work for you. Also, actually, other frustrating things like goalkeepers, for example, that's until just recently that was always outside the player's control. So you can have the best keeper in the world or in the game, but they can just let the ball go straight through their hands, and that's it. And there's nothing you can do about it. FIFA will just always remain popular because it's based on the most popular sport in the world. And despite sometimes it getting very frustrating, it can also be a really fun game to play. It is, especially when you're playing good at it. And it's always been just a really fun game to play with your friends, just actually side by side with your friends. It'll always remain popular in that aspect. Also, I guess these days FIFA is just very much pay to win, especially if you're playing Ultimate Team. The more money you spend on the game, the better players you're going to have. Whereas before, it was still pay to win technically, but the best players in the game weren't. It wasn't such a big gap between the players that you kind of start off with and build your team with. So I used to really enjoy starting off an Ultimate Team with a really low level team, and slowly but surely buying better players. Whereas nowadays people just spend so much money on the game from day one, and they have a super team, and you just can't compete with that. I got to the point of FIFA where I thought that I was pretty good, pretty above average player, not amazing, but above average. But I got to the point where I thought I can only do so much here. I think every FIFA player would say this, but they feel like they're getting beaten by the game, like the game's decided, right, it's your time to lose. But genuinely I thought that it got to the point where the AI was doing so much, so I would much prefer FIFA being a much more skill-based game.
That's good defending. Shot on! It's hit the post and in for a goal!
A hidden gem that I discovered years ago was Driven to Destruction for the PlayStation 2. You know, when you walked into a supermarket and you had the big shelves of the most popular games for, I think they were £30 back then, but you also had the little carousels full of the cheap ones at like 10, 15. I found an absolutely amazing card game called Driven to Destruction there. Basically, it involved destruction derbies, just cars slamming into each other. And destruction derbies, seeing which car survives till the end, but also races where you can just whack other cars until they like literally stop working, and then you can win the race. I think it just had a lot more substance to it for such a cheap game. I remember not only being able to play like private races with my friends, but also there was quite a beefy like campaign, like story mode to it. You had to start off with a wee banger of a car, and then it had an open world to it as well. For a racing game to have an open world where you have to go about your business and find parts for your car, find ways to fund parts with your car. It's just had so much to it for such a cheap game. I guess Rocket League was a hidden gem at the time I discovered it. Also a card game, maybe card games are hidden gems to begin with. But yeah, Rocket League at the time I got into it was a hidden gem. Obviously these days it's such a mainstream and popular game. It is pretty rare to find a game that is truly hidden these days because, well, for one, you've got YouTube and live streams, but also, say you're on Steam, for example, there's reviews of the game, so you already kind of know what you're kind of getting into. Whereas back in the day, it was literally just that game looks alright. You'd look at the back of the game and you'd see maybe some screenshots, a wee bit of information about it. Or also, at most, you'd maybe pick up a gaming magazine and read about it there. But you would know a lot less about the game going into it back then compared to these days. These days, I'm more of a kind of mainstream gamer. If there was a hidden gem out there, by the time I'm getting to play it and discover it, it's most likely going to be already popular at that stage. Like I say, Rocket League was the last one I think I got in early on. I think Driven to Destruction probably had a small budget back then. That's probably the reason why it was in that sort of section of games. I can't remember anyone else apart from myself and my close friend group talking to me about it. The only reason I guess anyone else would mention it to me is because I've showed it to them, and I guess it's hard to tell how popular it actually was back then. But in terms of hidden gem for me, when I consider a hidden gem, I would just think of a game that's not very popular but would definitely surprise you. My favourite game of all time is Modern Warfare 2 for the Xbox 360. I know it's my favourite game nowadays because when I think about it, I just get such a great nostalgic feeling inside, just all the memories on it. The campaign was a lot of fun, being able to connect with some of the characters that got on there, especially the Scottish character, Soap McTavish. It was just so cool having a Scottish character being one of the main ones in a game. It's quite rare. And then when you jump over onto the multiplayer side of things, just everything about the multiplayer I loved. I loved the pace of it. I loved the ability to just go on a crazy kill streak, to be able to just destroy everyone else on it, because obviously I played it a lot and I actually did get kind of good at it. So one of the kill streaks was a tactical nuke. If you got 25 kills in a row, you were able to end the game. That includes ending the game for 11 other people.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Which was just a fantastic feeling to have that power. So I spent a lot of time going for the tactical nuke. It was like a big sort of trophy, a big ego boost back then. It still is actually. I still go for them to this day. But then also you had the custom games, which you could play with your friends, just chasing each other around with a knife, putting the speed of your soldier up to be able to sprint to one end of the map to the other. That's not even it. You've also got the Spec Ops mode, the sort of co-op mode, where it was almost like missions from the campaign, made so in a way that you could complete them in like a time trial, both yourself and with your friend. So I spent a lot of time trying to complete those and get, I guess all the missions were based on stars, so if you complete it on Recruit you'd get 1 star, complete it on Veteran you get 3 stars, so I spent a lot of time trying to get as many stars as I could, and there was just a lot of things to achieve in that game, and yeah, just when I think about it, I just get such a good feeling inside. My life would be completely different if it wasn't for Modern Warfare 2 and Call of Duty in general, because if it wasn't for that game and also the YouTubers back then that were playing that game, I would never have been inspired to become a YouTuber myself, and I honestly could not tell you where I would be right now if it wasn't for Modern Warfare 2 being such a good game. I think games have always had more of an impact on me because it's actually me doing something. You know, you can watch a great film and enjoy it, and it can mean a lot to you, but when you're playing a game, you're not just enjoying how good a game is, you're also enjoying your actual experience on it. Like, for example, how good you are on it. If you're good at a game, obviously you're going to enjoy it more, and you're going to want to invest a lot more time on it. Like, I've got thousands upon hours playing Modern Warfare 2. Like, you could think of the best movie ever, you're never going to watch thousands of hours of it, really. So it's just, games have always just resonated with me a bit more than other forms of media. I think when it comes to online multiplayer games, specifically first-person shooters, any developer looking to make one of those games, I would always look at Modern Warfare 2 and think, what did that do so right that made it so popular? And if they were to ask me what I thought it did so right, was the controls for the first part, so easy, so natural to play. It's so simple, and it's how simple you want to make it, to be honest. Like I say, you can just jump on, have a good game. You could jump on, tweak your classes to make it if you want to play with an SMG, you want to play a bit more tactical, you can play it like that. If you want to play with a sniper and hang out at the back of the map, you can do that. And also Modern Warfare 2, in fact, you could play with a sniper and run about. There's lots of options, but at the same time, it's very simple at its core. I'll definitely be playing games in 10 years from now, 100%. Just what I will say is, for now, I feel like I'm maybe missing that game that I absolutely love and adore just now. I'd say Rocket League is my most favourite, but I'm still waiting for that game that captures me like Modern Warfare 2 did. But I'll still be playing. I'll never stop playing games. Thanks for watching My Life in 5 Games. Be sure to subscribe for future episodes and let us know your life in 5 games in the comments below. Bye.